Okay, so what are the best ways of reconnecting with those patients who have lapsed? There's two real ways that are effective for doing this. You can either send them a chain of 3 emails, or you can send them a letter in the post, snail mail. So it's entirely up to you. The real difference is the chain of emails you can automate, but is not as effective. The sending a letter in the post, you can kind of automate a little bit of it, but actually some of it requires legwork. You're going to have to print the letter out, sign it, sort out the envelope and physically get it in the post. So there's more work required, but those tend to be more effective if you send letters in the post. So it's your choice. But what I want to talk to you in this video about is what the kind of correspondence you can send and how to structure each of those pieces of correspondence. Now, for this to come across as authentic, the content of any letter, any email that you send them has to be based around helping them further, okay? This is not about pushing them to book an appointment. This is about finding out how or if you can help them further. And that is the objective, or the object, if you like, of the letter or the email that you are going to send them. Please don't start sending out emails that just say, please book an appointment, we've not seen you here for ages, do you think you need to book an appointment? That's not how to do this. The way to do this is through helping and supporting those people to further improve their healthcare. So there are 4 kind of key or core subject areas that you can write to your patients about in order to start to reconnect with them. Now the first is really simple, it's just to write and say, we miss you, we haven't seen you for ages, we hope you're okay, and is there anything else that we can do to help you? It sounds really simple, but just that act of reaching out and connecting and saying, we haven't seen you, we miss you, and recognising the fact that they are a part of your business and part of your little world, and that you've noticed that they've not been to see you, is often enough to trigger patients to reply or respond or pick up the phone. So that can be the subject of one, is just that we miss you. The second subject can be to write and say, we're just writing to all of our loyal patients to say how much we appreciate. So appreciation. So number 2 is writing a letter of appreciation to say that we really appreciate you being a client of ours, a patient of ours over the last X, Y and Z. And so that is the subject matter of your second type of letter. The third type of letter you can write, or card even if you're looking to put something in the post, is to mark an anniversary. So did you know it's been 4 years since you first came to see us as a patient? Or on a birthday, that also works. But an anniversary of becoming a patient is quite quite kind of a cool one to do. And then go, oh blimey, gosh, that's been quite a long time, hasn't it? And I haven't seen you for ages. And again, you can just say, you know, we miss you and that kind of thing. But you can mark an anniversary by sending them an email or something in the post. The fourth kind of letter you can send or email you can send is a patient survey. So as an existing patient of ours or a past patient of ours, we obviously are always keen to learn how we can improve the services that we offer, and therefore we're writing to ask you to complete a survey, and you can offer an incentive for them to complete the survey. And that just gets you back on their radar and then back in communication with you. And that often is enough just to kind of stoke the fire and get people back on board again. So think about those 4 different kinds of letters or emails that you can send. If you're looking to send emails and to automate the system, I say you need to send probably 3 emails in a chain. So you need to think quite carefully about the subject matter of those emails and how you would structure those emails so that one would naturally flow to the other. But you also need to make sure, if you are doing that, there is a cut-off system whereby inside your booking system that it can be flagged up that they've booked an appointment, so you don't then send them the second and the third, or the third one if after the second email they've booked an appointment. So you do need to be a little bit smart about that. But that basically are the 4 kinds of messages that you can send out to your patients. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of the letter that you are going to send, whether that's email or something in the post. There's a very clear structure that if you follow, it will have more impact. So the first thing is you need to think of an appealing headline, an attractive headline. Now that is the title that you would use if you were sending an email. You would use it as the title of the email. Or if you were sending it out in a letter, you would actually put it either on a sticker or print it directly onto the outside of the envelope. So this is the first thing that people are going to see. And it can be something as simple as "we miss you," or it could be something a bit more descriptive that basically says, we'll give you enclosed or attached is a 20% off coupon to encourage you out of hibernation, or something like that. So you can have the same thing either as the headline, the title of your email, or printed on the outside of the envelope, because it's to entice them to open the envelope or to open the email. That's the whole point of the title. So it doesn't want to be something really benign. It wants to be something that engages them and makes them feel, oh, I wonder what this is, or oh, that sounds like something I might be interested in, or just something that piques their interest that's going to make them open that email or open that envelope. Now the second element is the kind of opening paragraph, and this wants to be very personal. So this wants to include the person's name, maybe include the date that you last saw them, maybe talk a little bit, if you've got some knowledge about them that you can remember, you know, ask them how their dog is or how the holiday was, you know, or something. If there's some personal information that you can include in that first paragraph that just lets them know that you really genuinely remember them and you're not just churning out hundreds of letters and emails all the same. This is some data that is specific to them, and they'll, oh, that's it, and it just makes them realise that you are talking directly to them, and as I say, not to hundreds and hundreds of other people. If you know this person and you feel they would react well to humour, you could put some humour in it. You know, you don't ring, you don't call, we don't see you, kind of thing, or something like that. If you feel that is appropriate. If not, don't do that. But just for some people that would really kind of resonate and give them a smile and put a smile on their face. So you don't be afraid to use humour if you think in that instance it would be appropriate. So the opening paragraph needs to contain obviously their name, but then a little dialogue around them and your kind of history with them, so they get that you're talking specifically to them. So that's the second section of this communication. The third element in this letter is you need to make an offer, all right? You can't just say, hi, we haven't seen you for ages, do you fancy coming back? That is not going to be enticing enough for most people, unless they've just had a fall or an accident or something. You just happen to catch them at that moment where they're in acute agony and they need to come and see you. But generally, you are going to want to include an offer of some sort. Now, that offer could be to a sort of an upgrade. Some people react really well to being given VIP status, or being if you have a rewards point system in your practice, maybe offering them double rewards points or something that just kind of makes them feel a little bit special. And so you could, you know, absolutely include some sort of upgrade for those people if they came back to see you. The other kind of offer obviously you could include is a percentage discount. So I am a huge non-advocate of offering discounts if what you're trying to do is attract new patients, but these are existing patients. So once they're in the fold, absolutely, if you feel that's appropriate, offer them a discount code, a different discount card. If you're sending them something out in the post, that would be quite nice to include a physical card they could bring in. But something that is going to give them a discount off the service. Alternatively, you could add on an extra. So you could give them, if you book your appointment, we will also throw in X or Y or Z as an incentive. So if they normally have come to see you for a basic level service, you could say to them, if you rebook, we will give you not the basic one, we'll give you the next one up, or something like that. So you can add in an extra bit of service as an incentive. Equally, as part of your incentive, or as an extra incentive, you could offer them a freebie. So if you've got lotions and potions or products that are fairly low cost to you, but you could give to the patient as an incentive for rebooking an appointment, absolutely make that offer in that letter as well. So the second section in the letter needs to be you making them an offer. The fourth thing is you need to be really, really clear about what they need to do next. You need to include a call to action. So you specifically tell them exactly what they need to do next in order to book their appointment and claim their discount or their freebie or their upgrade or whatever it is you've offered them, okay? So the next section in the letter and the email needs to be, if you would like to, here is what you need to do. So either pick up the phone, quote this code, drop us an email, here's a link you can click, or call in and see, you know, and give them a couple of options around, but be very specific about what you need to do. And also in here at this point, I also want you to include a use by date, is that the right phrase I want? Anyway, I want you to include a date at which this offer expires, an expiration date. So they have to act quickly. So give them a week, give them 2 weeks max to react to your email, to your letter. The tighter the deadline, the date that this code or this offer is going to expire, the better, because that is going to make them take action more quickly. Okay, so in that telling them what to do next, you also need to tell them that there is a cut-off date for this, and you must stick to that. Right, don't then send them a letter the next week or the next month with the same offer in it, because that just makes a whole mockery of the whole thing. All right, so set a deadline and stick to it, and make sure you don't then continue the offer for that person after that date. The offer can still stand, because obviously all of these people you're reconnecting with, you're not reconnecting with them all on the same week. So you're going to give all of them 7 days, 10 days, whatever it is, to claim their reward or whatever it is you're offering them. So make sure that you know what the date is for that patient, so you don't then offer them the next time you write to them the same thing, because then it just looks really stupid. So that's the next section in the letter, is making them, giving them a call to action and giving them a cut-off date. The next element is giving them some really easy ways to book that appointment. If they're reading this email or this letter at 2 o'clock in the morning, how can they book your appointment, or how can they let you know that they're interested in taking up this offer? So if you've got online booking, this is ideal, because you can direct them to your online booking. If you haven't, I would encourage you to make it as simple as give us a call, because if they give you a call and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, they can leave a message and you can ring them back and book that appointment for them. If you are encouraging them to go to online booking, make sure if it's in a letter, they can't just obviously click on the letter. You're going to have to be very specific about making sure the URL that you give them is the right one. Or you could simply say, go to the homepage of our website, here is a big button that you can click to book your appointment. But you've got to make booking the appointment a really simple process. Reduce all the friction that you possibly can to them booking that appointment. So that is the almost the last section in the letter, is making that booking process super easy for them, so that you can do it without a second thought. And finally, the seventh element really is, if you're sending these letters out in the post, you must put your title, your title on the front of the envelope, so that they know what it's about and you're enticing them to open the envelope. But also make sure that you handwrite the address on the envelope, and you sign the letter inside the envelope. So there's some human connectivity, some human connection there. You've gone to the trouble of signing it by hand and writing out the envelope by hand. Okay, and it's also, there's data to show that if you put a stamp on it, it's much more likely to get opened than if you frank it in a franking machine. So again, if you're putting things out in the post, go old school. Let's have a stamp, let's have a handwritten envelope, and let's have a signed letter that is in the envelope. The other thing you can do is make it lumpy. If you're sending something in the post, lumpy mailers, when I was first in marketing a long time ago, we used to send out a lot of lumpy mailers, because there was evidence to show that if you put something in an envelope, and this is why a lot of charities used to send pens in their envelopes, there was a much bigger chance of you opening the envelope if you felt it and there felt to be something in it other than just a letter. So again, if you want to make it worthwhile or more enticing for somebody to open it, make it lumpy. Put something in it that's going to make that envelope a bit lumpy and a bit intriguing. And then you've got a much better chance of them opening it. And once they open it and they read that opening paragraph that you've made that is really personal to them, they're going to be much more connected. There's a much bigger chance that they'll read through the letter and they will follow up. Okay, so there you have my top tips for how to reconnect with your lapsed patients. And try, if you can, to build this into a structure, to build it into a system, a process in your practice that gets done on a regular basis, because so many patients will be falling through the gaps and you'll be missing out on helping those people further if you don't have a system and a process in place for doing this on a regular basis. Make it part of your marketing strategy because it will serve you really, really well. Okay, that's it. I would like to thank you for your time today. If you are watching this video anywhere else other than on my website, jillwoods.com, scroll down into the description, click the link and head over to the blog, because on the blog post there's a lot more information about this subject on there, and that is also where some of the conversation will be happening. I want to thank you for your time. I want to wish you well, and I will see you back here next week for another little slice of practice momentum marketing.